what that client wants, and particularly with the end user. So this is what we basically took from the initial consultation. So if you look at that, one of the things that we have here is we have our core framework. Goal setting is one of them, because we truly believe that we want to look towards a positive future. There's a Matt Haig book which says basically we really struggle with depression when we see no hope and no future. So that's one of our core frameworks. We've got our new self. We like to have a habit tracker in there just to keep track of things in terms of what you're doing. Weekly reviews, we've actually changed that. What we've done with this journal is it's totally undated, and there's a reason for that, which I'll get to as we speak through it. And then we've got what we call our growth hack. So this is our sort of USP really, but what we do is a growth hack is essentially a self-help tool, whether it's well-being or personal growth, and it's something that from the 3,000 self-help books that I've read, it's something that I've taken, I think that's relevant, that's really good, that could help somebody, so we have that at the end of each week. The things that were highlighted for this one, the overall theme, it had to be mental health and well-being related. As Richie said, we're focusing on PERMA, like so these different elements, the great dream, and there's a bit of kindness in there too. In terms of when we were looking at promotion, one of the things that we've tried to create with this is we want it to not be, we don't want it to feel like work. So this is being created for the user in the sense of it's not a work task, it's not something you have to present at work, it's something for you to help you with your well-being. And there's no days, there's no dates, and you can go back to it at any time. This is a big thing for me. So with journaling, we want to normalise re-entry. So what I mean by that is, I've used journals in the past, right? This might sound silly. And we've created them this way for certain groups, but say it's dating Monday to Sunday, and I've journaled Monday, Tuesday, and I've missed the rest of the week, and then the new week starts, I look at my journal and my planner, and I go, oh, that space I've missed out there, it really irritates me. And it's that aesthetic type of thing, so we've totally taken that out this time. So the whole idea with this journal is you can literally pick it up and put it away, pick it up and put it away. So we've wanted to create that so you can open it and close it at any point. So if you miss a few days, it's fine. We encourage you just going back in. Hopefully you'll see the rewards from it. And like I said there earlier, it's not a work product, it's there to support you. The journal style that we went for after discussion, it's going to be simplistic, bold, non-corporate for them, easy prompts, easy templates and that throughout as well. And visually easy to look at, we don't want it to be overwhelming. So this is what we went for. And there's a few other considerations on there as well. So it's just things like different learning styles. We try to put that in with diagrams and different types of prompts and stuff like that. And we've really looked at this behaviour change model, so it's this idea of like getting a reward from it when you do it. So that was the initial consultation. So I just wanted to give you an overview of that. Now I'll show you the first build in terms of where we're at to. So I'll go to this now. So there's no front cover or back cover yet. If that will be within the actual journal. And I won't go from start to finish because it's 280 pages, but I'll give you the general overview or we'll be here all day. But it says in the welcome page in terms of what to expect, it's things like you can open, close it whenever you want. And we're trying to put in this as much support as we possibly can. So you'll see it soon. But essentially, there's a QR code there. That'll take you to my LinkedIn page. If anyone's using it, they can ask questions around it. So that's the introduction. And there's obviously basically our core framework there, personal growth and mental well-being, and it starts with just goals. So the first thing is new chapters, right? What goals are we looking at? And then again, just a little goals page there, so it's an opportunity for somebody to write down their goals, and then we go into a little bit more detail. So that's at the very start, and then it's the other core framework, like your future self, your old habits, your new habits, self-talk, this type of stuff. This is just at the very start. It's just as you open it and you begin. So that starts there. Then we go into our day pages, right? So bear in mind these quotes are the same on every day page at the minute. That will change. It's just because it's the template. But on each day, there'll essentially be a new quote at the start of each day. But we've tried to keep this as simple as we can, right? So it's simply, today I'm grateful for, gratitude related to positive well-being. Then there's the journal space. You might not be able to see this here, but basically says, if this page is empty, view your support and journal prompts page. You'll see this at the end. So what we've done, and this is something I believe in, when you first start journaling, you might go, what do I write? Now, we want to encourage people to write. If whatever's on in your mind, great. If you can do it free flow, fantastic. However, if you're struggling, you're like, I do not have a clue what to write. We've put a prompts page in the back, which is basically just one question prompt, so they can go, I might write about this today. So if you're facing a challenge in one particular area, you might see that question and go, right, Perfect, I'll go to that and I'll show you this later. And then it's just basically very simple again with this. It's at the end, it's 3 good things that happened today. So this is based on positive psychology. Not as it can be gratitude focused, but it might just be any good 3 things that have happened. And then a moment for myself. That's something else I always believe in. Life is busy, life is stressful. We want to basically encourage people to just, what's that moment for yourself today? I'm a dead big advocate for bubble baths. So the moment for myself is a bubble bath. I love bubble baths, but it might be just something like, like going for a walk, reading, but it's just, that day page is designed to be very simple. So it's like start and not battering with information. All right, so that's the prompt of the day page. So I'll skip down now. So that'll happen. This happens 6 times. And then this comes in at the end of the week, right? But it's not a weekly review. What we've done is we've called it a check-in, right? And the reason we've done it this way, again, is to just give that feel of, if you miss something, it's fine. It's lingoed and it's written in a way. Your wins, list all of the good things that happened the past few days. So say, for example, you have a journal for 5 days and then you open it's that page. You can still use that page there and then. It doesn't say, tell me everything that happened in the last week. Same thing, what will you stop, start, improve over the next few days? Rate the past few days, how you feel it went. And then there's a couple of things that you can set either personally or professionally if you want to, and then a very small habit tracker at the end. So that's your general consensus, that's what it follows for a cycle of about 13 times. Day page, check-in page, right? And that's that part. Now, at the end of this page, you'll see this is where our growth hacks come in. So there's a load of different ones. So the first one is my future vision. Now with this, I'm not going to be able to do the QR code here because, I'll tell you what I'll do. But you see that QR code there? What will happen is, that's a journal space for somebody. And then what they can do is they can take out the phone, click on that, and it'll take them to a YouTube, which will essentially be a video. So I'll show you this, I'll go to it here. So what we'll do, bear with me, because like I say, normally it would. So when they scan that QR code, it'll take them to this.
Creating your future vision. Now this is something we really believe in. Vision boards,
support them with that.
when people think of vision boards, they have to think of this woo-woo, big type thing, and it doesn't need to be that. What a vision board is doing is trying to get you excited about your future, it's trying to get you to create things which you feel excited about. So that could be anything in health, personal interests, work, career, personal relationships, anything. It's totally applicable to you. But the idea of the vision board is just to let your mind run free. Just let the pen hit the paper and think about everything that you want within your future.
I won't play it all, but you get the concept of it, yeah? So that will basically be on every single growth hack. So this growth hack comes at the end of this cycle. So you'll get that. There's different ones and I'll just briefly touch on them. But that sits at the end and then it goes back into the journal. And so I won't talk you through that page. And then we get to the end of the week, it's got the check-in and then we've got the next one. Bear in mind, there's no QR code yet. We're building that as we go, but I just wanted to give you the example. So the next one is automatic negative thoughts. It's a journal tool and there'll be a video to support that. Again, this is the cycle. There's a couple of other tools in there. So we've got like a well-being wheel, which is about assessing that area in terms of your life. This will all be supported with coaching and explanation so nobody struggles alone. Again, that's the day page. And then we get to the end and it's just a growth hack. So this one is what we call a solid back 5. It's from Dr. Julie Smith. It's just about the core fundamentals. I'm not going to talk into every growth hack now because you can look at it in your own time and it would be here all day if I went through every one, but I just want to give you the overall theme. So there's that. Then it goes back into day pages, you check in, another growth hack. So we've got habit stacking, which is again about building habits and positive routines. Again, these will all be supported with video. We've also, what we've done, we've called these coaching intervals. So we've got 26 of the growth hacks, but there's a lot of space. We didn't want to make 52 growth hacks because we thought that would be overwhelming with coaching. We don't want people thinking, oh my word. So what we've done is within this is what we've called like coaching intervals. So it's just a nice little image trying to present something in terms of well-being. So you've got there, when you focus on yourself a little each day, it all adds up. And then following that, it's just a journal prompt. There's some space to to journal, essentially. We're trying to give people as much tools as they can, so that, yes, they've got space to do their own thing, but at the same time, they also don't, if they don't know where to start, they've got that support. So again, then you'll generally find the cycle, it'll be the 6 stages, the 6 day pages, the check-in, and then either a growth hack or a coaching interval. So it's just another one there. It's about shifting your thoughts. It's a tool, event plus response equals outcome. And then that's back into your day page. Again, you check in, and then you've got another growth hack. As one door closes, another opens. This is just about things that have happened in the past, now it might have led to opportunities. But what I'll say as well, these growth hacks, they've all been centered around this PERMA model of the 10 steps. So they're all well-being focused. It's like literally designed around these different tools. Again, you've just got a nice little divider page there. So this is Nathan's. It's just about building yourself up, and then again, it follows with a journal prompt. So then this goes back into the day pages. Check in. And then you've got your growth hack. This is one called your happy hour. It's just about giving yourself some time for yourself. It's got a little wellbeing bucket list on there. It's something that I talk about in the videos. As people, we just get caught up in life and we forget to plan time for ourselves. So that one's based on that. I'm going to sound like a broken record now, by the way, going through this, but just like I say, bear with me so I can give you the overview. And then we've got another growth hack there, which is just about creating connections. So again, this is just about assessing relationships around you, and a little bit of journal prompts about like who's in your inner circle, why do you sit at the centre, and it's just designed, they're all self-reflective tools. So for a lot of people, they might not have done this stuff before, so it gives them the chance to sort of do that inner work really. That's our outcome, and hopefully help them feel better. That's the main premise. Again, just another divider page there, so it's just good well-being levels, how will you take a moment for yourself today. There's these constant just reminders throughout. Again, we've done this in the way, so it's just not coaching exercise, because that would, I believe, get too much. So day page, we've got something called the meaning triangle, which is again just finding meaning in your life and an opportunity to make some notes on that. Keep flicking between these two here. We keep coming down. We've got a midpoint check-in with your goals, just using a framework called GROW. Again, we'll try to do, even with the growth hacks, we try to keep them relatively simple. Like, we don't want them being totally overwhelming. Hopefully they tick that box. Again, we've got another wellbeing wheel in. We've got this at 3 stages. Week 1, midpoint, end point. The idea of being that you might have done it at week 1 and seeing where you are at week, because you constantly need to assess this. I understand it from a personal point. Sometimes I get lost in business and my partner moans at me because we've been out for dinner. So it's just constantly doing these types of things. So that jumps in there. And then we've got check-in, resilience wall coaching exercise. So it's just again about looking back at some of the things that you've done in your life and how it's made you more resilient. Again, just designed with simple stuff and different types of visual images. And then we come down. This is an emotional safe space. It's just about recognising your emotions and how to assess them. Because a lot of people as well, this is one of the things that I found with journaling. I don't want to sound arrogant when I say this, I've got more emotionally intelligent. When you first asked me about emotion, I didn't even know what emotions were. I was like, well, I just get angry all the time, that's it, isn't it? But now it's understanding what you feel and how you can recognise it and journaling around it. That's why I'm such an advocate for the tool, because it's helped me so much. Again, just a nice little image in, just to break it up and not make it like totally overwhelming with coaching, and then a space to journal there with a prompt. Again, you follow the cycle, the check-in, the unsent letter. That's just a form of, it's called vent journaling or rage on a page. It's this idea of just like getting everything down. There's different tools in there. I love it. It's what it's trying to do as well with things. We understand that with these growth hacks, some people will go, that's all, that one's not for me, and that's fine. But there might be something where someone goes, oh, this is brilliant. We could have made hundreds of these different ones, but we've tried to keep it based on that theme of well-being and the PERMA model. So again, that's that one. Just the day page cycle, you check in, and then we've got a mindfulness exercise just with some images in. And then again, just another image with a journal prompt. So that's that. we get to this day page, check in. We've got a managing stress bucket, just about like recognising stress indicators and coping mechanisms. We're getting towards the end now, so it's just bear with me. Day page, check in. Another exercise called an attitude of gratitude. It's just like 3 people who you love, 3 people who love you, and 3 things to be excited about. Just all prompts throughout. Another little coaching image about journaling and its benefits. Just trying to break that up so it's not overwhelmingly all journal related.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I love that one because it's related to journaling. Check in. Then we've got an exercise called the £1 Million Racehorse, which is all about self-care and recognising things for yourself. The idea is basically if you had a £1 Million racehorse, how would you treat it? So it's this idea of like you see yourself as the £1 Million racehorse, so what can you do for yourself? There's a lot of self-care stuff. It's trying to reiterate that message to people of like, look after yourself. Because obviously the other thing as well, what it's worth bearing in mind, with this user particularly, they spend a lot of time working with people and giving and giving and giving. It's sometimes making them take that moment for themselves to recognise like themselves and time they need to give for them, really. That cycle again. We've got check-in, and then we've got a overwhelm exercise, and it's just the idea of basically writing things that are overwhelming you. Within my control, what I can't, everything else out of my control, and what I can influence, and it's just this idea of being able to recognise things. Again, just a nice little divider page.
I love that one. That's true.
Yeah, and it's like I say, it's just Nathan does all that type of stuff and he loves it. But I love it too because it breaks it up nicely as well. You've got your check-in, that's about a perspective growth hack. So like I say, there's 26 different growth hacks in. Check-in, this is an acceptance one, so similar to the emotional checklist, but it's just about learning acceptance. So again, I would read through these in a little bit more detail as well, if you want to look into them basically. Just another divider page. We are coming towards the end now. So check in, and then we've got acknowledging your wins. It's about reflecting on the good. Same thing. Check in, and then this one is giving and kindness. So there's that exercise in there. Divider page. It's just about a healthy mindset and all the things that build it. And it's like I say, there's the journal prompt there. So is there anything in your life right now you can improve or place more focus on to create a more healthy and fulfilled mindset? Write it down. Check in. Growth hack about your best self. And then we've got check in. Protecting your energy. It's just about things like identifying triggers that are taking up a lot of your energy, and then your well-being wheel again at the end. So like I say, just bear in mind with these put in, they are tools, but we're just dropping them in a sense which isn't going to be like, you don't want to feel like they're opening it every day. That's another exercise. It's just getting in at the end of the week. And some people will use some and they'll turn after it before with journals, like that's not as relevant to me. And then you might go back later and think, actually that's quite relevant now. We're not expecting everybody to fill out every page. It's finding the stuff that works for them. So again, check in, and then we've got, this is just about changing your state, a little tool called box breathing, which I love. It's just about taking a minute to just become mindful and trying, like there's a lot of research into the breath now, dealing with anxiety. It's something I do before public speaking, or if I'm feeling a little bit anxious, I'll just take a minute to there. So it's a tool that I really like. And then we've got check in, and then this is the last growth hack. So we started with my future vision, and then the last growth hack is about being my best possible future self. It's an exercise by Laura King. It's again a similar concept of just imagine yourself in the future. We've put that in at the end again because we've done it at the start, got our goal stuff, and then we do it at the end. All right, and then I'll talk you through the back part now. So you've got a little divider page again there, and then we basically come, this quote here just splits the journal. So we're going to have at the end, it's going to be like obviously ourselves, and then some links. Now, one of the things we've put in the back is something called doodle journaling. So I don't know if you've heard of it before, but it's this idea of like you can write journal, which is what I tend to do, but there's something called doodle journaling as well. It's this idea you can sketch, you can doodle, you can draw. We've put that little image in there, which is essentially you can colour in, and it's things like that. So it's just a different tool, basically, but it might not get used. Some people might think, I don't want to colour it in. Personally, I don't doodle journal, I just tend to write, but it's a technique being used at the minute, so we put that in there, basically. So it's just something else to go in. There's a bit of space at the back for people to do that if they want to. So we've just added these in here if they want to doodle around this. Then at the back we've also got, I think these are going to be, oh no, they're note pages again. So there's a little bit of space at the minute, but we have kept a bit of space purposely because we don't just want it to be exercise. So that's the concept behind that. Then we have what we've put at the back. There's a few things. There's the doodling. We've created my positivity pages. This is ideal. You can stick photos in. You can write some things that make you feel positive. These are at the back purposely, so it's that we want to trigger people. If they're having like a really tough day, they go to my positivity page. It might be music they like, it might be a photo of some family members, it might be anything, but it's at the back on purpose for that reason. So you can constantly flick to it if you need to, basically. So we've got that. There's a couple of pages for that. Then what we've got is what we've called a safety plan. So this is again if someone's feeling quite critical, who can they contact, who can they ring, and that's in there for that reason. And then finally, we've got our journal prompts page, which I spoke about at the start. So you've got things like, it's just a load of prompts if somebody's like struggling with what to journal. So it's prompts to reflect on your day, prompts to help take positive action. It is prompts to support your emotional well-being, prompts to help tackle challenges, obstacles, limiting beliefs, prompts to recognise your strengths, prompts to ignite passion. And then we've got prompts for self-care, self-love and acceptance, prompts for deeper self-discovery, and prompts about love and relationships. I've just realised that's not underlined, so that needs a little bit of work there. But again, it's just there with the basis of, if I'm sat here thinking, what the hell do I write? How do I journal? It's there. The other thing I'll say as well, with the growth axis, obviously all the supported coaching. We don't know how many will use it, but what we're going to do as well alongside that is make some just additional supporting videos. So it's things like how we use the journal prompts, how to break barriers on journaling. We want to basically give people as much support and resources for them, if like to help them do this. We fundamentally want people to use it and enjoy it. So that's a run through. So from start to finish, I appreciate at that point that you've been given a lot of information, but I hope from what you've seen at the start, and the reason I did this is hopefully it'll show you that this was the consultation, this is what the whole premise was, and that's as close as we've got to it. So hopefully we're on the right track, is basically where we want to be. So thanks for listening, and if anyone's got any points at this point, just let me know. All right, so thank you.